Viral Industries, and we're back again with another quick video. Let's get in here. Let's get in here. Even if you're watching on the replay, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. And this is the basically web series I'm making now as we tune into the Little Durk case. And I really want to explain to y'all that just because things might look some way from your perception doesn't mean that's what everybody else's perception is supposed to be. Everybody's perception is supposed to be a certain way. You might look at yourself from your lens a certain way. That doesn't mean that's what the government or that's what Caucasian people over here or even Asian people over here or this person, a Democrat, Republican. Everybody has their own perception of you from what they've accumulated through this life experience. So Dirk and his homies, they looked at themselves as OTF. They looked at themselves as the end all be all, the guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they looked at themselves as the cream of the creme. They look at themselves cream of the crop, whatever you want to call it, the best of the best, right? But as they are doing all of these crimes, and as they are doing having their own little mini wars, you're already in a preoccupied land that has laws and things that you're supposed to follow, and codes that you're supposed to follow, just to stay alive. Because if you do not follow these laws, there is an option to where they can unalive you. So in America, one of the laws is you cannot be conspiring to unalive people and paying money for people to do mercenary work, basically do agent work that the government has not bestowed an eye in or a hand in, or the government has to be attached to it in some way, or you cannot go along with these missions, these type of missions that Lil Durk was putting people on, people like King Von. And we think from, looking out from the outside in, we're looking at it media wise and stuff like that. They're telling us what's going on, but really it's really deeper than that. And there's more to it than that. It's more dead bodies, it's more corruption, it's more lies, it's more cheating, it's more stealing, it's more than what we think it is. So, from what everybody else is saying, is just all OTF jam told on Little Durk. And the reason Little Durk is going down is because he was talking on YouTube platforms. Now, if to know Little Durk, you have to understand who Little Durk father is. Once you understand why Little Durk, once you understand who Little Durk father is, then you understand why Durk is Durk. Does that mean it's a bad thing to me or not personally? But I'm speaking right now. Um, Third person, I'm letting y'all know from different perspectives. Everybody doesn't look at Dirk like how you might look at him. Somebody might look at Dirk as a Muslim son, a Muslim terrorist, a terrorist Muslim, a son of a terrorist. Like that's how they looking at him. Somebody crazy, deranged, like that lady was saying on that video. What was her name? Sunny from The View. This is how they look at black men. But y'all don't listen. Y'all too wired and fixated on what y'all think y'all is to yourself. You're not looking at how everybody else is looking at you. So Lil Durk never really thought in his brain that there could be a chance to, whereas these people could be shooting something into my arm and my lights could be My water could be cut off in the next second. I could be unalived in the next couple of seconds after these people shoot this shit in my vein. Though Dirk never thought it could be a point where I might not see the light of day again. I might not be able to go outside, stretch, smoke, look into the sky, hop on a boat, get on a plane, get on a private jet. Like he never. I don't think he ever thought it would get to this point. And what they did was they walked him into his own trap. Being at the top of the mountain was a pitfall for Lil Durk. So the top of the mountain, everybody so fiending to be on Lil Durk's spot, fiending to have his girl, fiending to have his money, fiending to have his lifestyle. This is what this was the hells on earth for Dirk. The top of the mountain was hell on earth for Lil Durk. 'Cause I know that's hard for some of y'all to believe, so y'all gotta believe it's OTF Jam fault. It's this dude fault. It's this. If Lil Durk was the leader, where did he lead everybody to? If Lil Durk was the so-called leader, where did he lead everybody to? Because we know that's not their money. That wasn't their stuff. That wasn't their private jets. That wasn't their Louis Vuitton clothes. That wasn't nobody else. That was Dirk putting on for them like that. And who gave Dirk the money? You want to know why these people are gonna do it? It's not only the only people that's telling on Dirk. It's not only allegedly Brick Baby and OTF Jam. It's not just black people telling on Dirk. Dirk was an A&R for whatever. What was he? What 300 or who was Little Interscope? He was one of them big Jewish labels. Dirk was working for these people as an A&R, scouting for talent. That's how he got King Von out of jail. That was a money deal. That wasn't King Von was getting out of jail to no. King Von was getting out of jail to work and make albums. They played it off and made it seem like, oh yeah, I don't really fuck with that rap shit. I'm just a super gangster, super core gangster nigga. I wake up and eat gangster flakes and no. King Von got out of jail so he could work for that big label that Dirk was working for and be under Dirk. Dirk is an A&R. And when black people think, oh, you signed to Gucci Man, you signed to Lil Durk, you signed to Whoop You. No, they don't be signed to them. They be signed to some white people. But instead of, in the black community, it's a stigma. If you're not part of the black community or FBA, it's a stigma where black people have a problem with working, quote unquote, working for the white man, even though the white man has supremacy over America and everything has to go through him anyway. This is why we're in a situation now with Lil Durk, where it's an exchange of power and it's a fight for power, a war for power, and it's more like, oh yeah, you think you gonna see? Listen, you rappers, which I found to realize, you look real crazy. You look real crazy, drill rapping or whatever you want to call it, rapping about bodies and all this crazy shit and drugs and all this shit when you're supposed to be a civilian. You are supposed to be a civilian. Do you understand that? Unless you are a part of the a U.S. government service, like the border or ICE or the army or the military or whatever, unless you are a police force or whatever, unless you are part of a government task force agency, you are a civilian, bro. So the government doesn't expect for you to just be, and this is, you might be like, oh, that's not, because it's not cliche. That's not what everybody telling you. This is how the government views it. This is why they have a jail. They know you're going to. They know that you want to, but you're not supposed to. That's why we have a law. What the government was doing to Little Dirk was letting him break the law so they can how can I say this? They were allowing him to break the law basically to heighten his charge, heighten his consequence. So with allowing to for him to set his own trap, make his own trap, they basically let him unalive these people so he could unalive himself. Now he has to play that same gangster role that he played to his black community, that, who is also owned by the government, just like everybody else that got a social security number in America, right? And that's not part of the royal family like Hunter Biden, where they could just leave crack around, have do all types of spy crazy shit, have all types of shit on their computer. They're not supposed to be telling people and doing all types of shit. They could be a traitor and be you could do whatever you want to do, right? When you a part of certain people. But when you're not a part of that, and that's a very slim chance that you're FBA and you're a part of that people, because that is the part of the people who did the enslaving in America, did the genocides in America, the um the very small percentages of the super wealthy in America. Those people who are running everything, they look down on FBAs, and they are Jewish. Aren't we know this? This is something we know. They are Jewish. Aren't the aren't they going to war? The whole Hamas and Gaza and all of that stuff. I know it's a specific terminology and everybody wants to be, but we focused on what's going on in America right now. We know what's going on. It's Jews versus the Muslims, Islam, whatever you want to call it. It's Jews versus Islam and Muslim and whatever, right? Free Palestine and all that stuff, right? Dirk was supporting those people. Even if he act like he don't know, no, you're supporting people who religion is that's 99% of the religion that's supporting free Palestine. Aren't we going to war with them? Aren't we going to war with these people? Aren't we an ally of Israel and all of this shit? And Ukraine and all this, where these Jews are? Kamala Harris, another Jew? That's crazy. That just pops out the cut on her like that. Candace Owens, salute to Candace Owens. But listen, right? Dirk was messing with people who mess with the other side, the ops of America. So they claim they're doing a genocide on these people. They do not like these people. What don't you get? Do you know what a genocide is? Do you know why people are calling Joe Biden Genocide Joe? They're calling him Genocide Joe. They aren't saying that for no reason. They do not like these people and are trying to exterminate these people. Little Durk, you don't think he had talks with certain people, and who you think was telling him to go fly to Italy and fly over here, and who you think was telling him that? All of those Muslim people was telling him to do that. He was getting good with that community, so when he left, because on the other side of the world, we don't understand in the West, because the West has been built on Christianity, right? But on the East and all of that shit, they are Muslim. Lil Durk was going to be making his way over there. He knew his time was up. This is why they did the whole birthday bash thing and all that shit. But Little Durk, truthfully, I'm not trying to undermine him, and so none of his family and friends understand. Little Durk wasn't as smart as I thought he was. Little Durk wasn't as smart as I thought he was. Okay, this nigga used credit cards that were in his LLC to OTF. These niggas that was hitters for him used, and then he had the sloppiest hitters, bro. Of all time, bro. He had the sloppiest, bro. He didn't have no real professionals out there, bro. He had the sloppiest, bro. Like, and these niggas know they did it sloppy because these niggas didn't even want to be on Earth after they did it. You know it's real when a nigga don't even want to be on Earth. He know it's over. A nigga did something for these niggas, and he's like, bro, it's over, bro. I have no chance of being alive in the free world no more. I know it's over. I don't even want to see what it's gonna be looking like for me. Delete me up out of here. Dude deleted himself. That's how you know it's real. That's how you know it's real. Dude deleted himself. So if we could look at that situation, people so desensitized nowadays, they don't know, they can't understand. That's a real life. People just not deleting themselves for no reason. People just not hopping out of cars trying to punch on people and beat people up for no reason. It's something. It's a storyline behind that. People aren't just hopping out, bouncing out of cars, shooting at people for no reason. It's a storyline behind that. The government isn't just hemming Lil Durk up for no reason and trying to give him the extreme of all extreme penalties for no reason. This is the new public hanging. They support it. They were there with Little Durk every step of the way. But now they're gonna, that's what I was getting to. These Jews, the people that Little Durk was working for, because all Little Durk to us, little what he was calling himself, Jay-Z and all of this shit. Like to us, we look at Little Durk as, and I'm saying as a whole, as a community, and I don't even think of it like this, but I know how my community is because I know my people. We look at Little Dirk like Little Dirk is the end all be all to whatever niggas that want to rap and do all that shit. They look at Little Dirk like he had a great career. He was doing it big. That's how they want their career to be. Not even knowing Lil Durk doing all this other shit on the side just for some respect from some people that he don't even know. Cause he didn't even know a nigga that was in his crew. He found out that he didn't even know a nigga well enough that was in his crew. His own crew, his own gang. The nigga Jam getting him jammed up. Ain't that crazy? Nigga named Jam getting them jammed up. Even on the replay, if you watching the replay or watching it live, please hit the like, comment, and subscribe. This is the web series on Lil Durk. As we watch the Lil Durk case, he didn't even know his own man Jam. So what I'm telling y'all is, Little Durk was very naive to how things should be. When you did something like that once, he did something like that once. He should have been done, right, y'all? But now Lil Durk came for seconds. And it looked like Lil Durk came for thirds. Lil Durk was bloodthirsty. You know who else is like that? Satan. So it doesn't matter. You could be in the mosque and you could be walking in there with the spirit of Satan. That's nothing. Christ said, Christ, I know y'all Muslims don't like Christ, but Christ said this temple will be dust one day. We'll be walking over it and nobody be thinking about this temple no more. It's not about no mosque or no temple or no church. It doesn't matter when you dress in the linen and you get on your knees on a rug and a nice rug and you pray. No. When you really out here unenlightened, people got families and kids and they sons and daughters and all types of shit. Little Dirk didn't care about shit like that because he set himself up so high, right? A lot of people, they looking at Little Dirk on top of the pyramid, on top of the mountain, like, oh my God, that's Little Dirk. And then somebody else looking down on Little Dirk like, this motherfucker ain't shit. This nigga ain't nothing to me. This is who y'all praise. This is who y'all love so much. This motherfucker ain't shit. So while we in our community holding Lil Durk to such standards, and he's such a great and an all-time legend in our community, to somebody else, he's not shit. And I know it's hard for some of you niggas that's just locked into the street mentality to ever think like this, to ever think that it's a nigga that don't care about the Little Durk songs and all of the shit that he was doing in Chicago and other places in the land and all that shit and all that street shit. Niggas, some people don't care about that. You know who really in these streets? The government. The government really in these streets. And you know what's crazy too? You niggas bang and claim streets. This is why niggas stopping that shit nowadays. Cause it's stupid. Y'all banging streets that the government own. This is they shit. Trying to tell y'all we are supposed to be doing civilian shit to them. To them, we're just little working bees and ants. We're supposed to, oh, Lil Durk, cool. He's just a rap. That's how they look at Lil Durk. That's what I was trying to find. They look at Lil Durk, oh, cool, little rapper guy. Okay, the little rapper dude. That's how they look at him. And King Von, they looked at him and said, "Oh, the little rapper. Oh, he's a feisty one. He's the crazy one." That's how they look at us, bro. They don't look at y'all niggas like how the black community look at y'all niggas. It don't matter if he was on a private jet on Mount Everest or if he was in the slums in New York somewhere or something like. Nobody looks at you like the way that your community, because we actually love and care about you. We understand the shit that you've been through. We lived in those same slums that you come from, them same hoods. We understand the struggle, so we automatically have a nurturing care for our people. That's how regular black people are. But what gang life has come to is to it's became the I hate niggas gangs where niggas hate each other because they hate themselves. So they hate each other and hate themselves so bad to whereas they only feel comfortable with going up against each other. It's like if a JV team ever goes up against the best varsity team in the city. Like the JV team is gonna always lose to the varsity team. So they're never gonna try their oppressors, but they always gonna try each other because that's their league. Little Dirk's out of his league now. He's going against the government. When his case come up, it's going to say Dirk Banks versus the United States of America. It's not going to say, you know what I'm saying? He's going against. It's just nothing that FBG can't do shit now. FBG said that's out of our hands. 63rd and all of them niggas, they shit. He's not beefing with them niggas no more. He's now beefing with the United States of America. Do y'all understand that? To where the point where this man had 3 different flights booked to wherever y'all know the places, right? I bet y'all know him better than me. I don't know I know he was trying to go to Italy. That's the only one I know. He was trying to go to 3 different places in the world and trying to get away from here because these people was watching him. He didn't even want to be watched no more. He knew. I believe that Little Dirk knew. This is my motherfucking opinion, right? I believe that Little Dirk knew that these people were watching him. He just didn't want these people to watch him no more. And I believe that they would have allowed him to continue to do the shit that he was doing, but he had to be watched and he had to continue telling on people. Little Dirk didn't want to do that. He didn't want to continue telling on people and unaliving people and having little weird agendas and shit like that. As you can see, Little Dirk didn't support Kamala Harris and support the dumb. And don't say, oh, he knew he was going to jail because Diddy was going to jail, and I'm pretty sure he knew he was going to jail because he was all on camera with it. But he still was getting keys to the city, and Eric Adams was still backing him and all that shit. Why? Because they have an agenda. That's not when Beyonce comes and walks out and looks like a fucking. She looks like she's just under, like she's just high. Like she's just high. You know, some people get high and they just be like, oh, I'm just high. I'm chilling. Like she's on cloud. That's what she's on. She's on cloud 9. She could give a fuck less of what's going on boots on ground. That lady ain't been boots on ground for how many years now? She do not know Beyonce do not know what's going on in no black community, and she could give a fuck less. All she knows is this lady black. I have an image to uphold with my listeners. So how many of okay, you said 70% of my listeners are voting for this lady? Okay, cool. They look at this stuff. Y'all think, oh, this is just a poll on Instagram from a uh shade room or whatever, world star hip hop. No, these people be really looking at that shit like, okay, it was 8,000 votes on there, and all of them said that Beyonce would support Kamala Harris. Or she wouldn't. How much she would? I said 20%. Oh yeah, I ain't see look, Nicki Minaj just came out and endorsed Trump, they saying. Cause Nicki Minaj, they don't want her no more. And they like looking at it like, who the fuck is Nicki Minaj? Nobody knows Nicki Minaj. We don't have $3 million or no, they gave Beyonce way more than that. They probably gave Beyonce. I'm not even gonna lie. The Democrats are using tax dollars to pay for these celebrities just to act like they fuck with them. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe when you get in here on live, even on the replay. I appreciate y'all. The Democrats are paying these celebrities to just act like they fuck with them. And I believe they paid Beyonce at least $80 million. At least. They paid Beyonce at least $80 million just to act like she fucked with Kamala Harris. Y'all gotta understand that. That is tax dollars. That's not out of Kamala Harris' account. That's not out of Tim Wall's account. This is out of our pockets, and people and the least that she could have did was came out there and sung a motherfucking song. But she looking at it like, man, I'm not y'all fucking zoo animal. I'm not about to come out here and perform for y'all. I'm about to come out here and do whatever the bullshit she did and go fucking sit back down. I just got $80 million to walk up here and act like I fuck with somebody. That's a different type of lifestyle. That's the type of lifestyle Lil Durk was living. But Lil Durk had an image to obtain. So what do you see now from Lil Durk from the past year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever? Lil Durk has always been seen in a mosque with his little mosque linen shit on, and he looking like he go to the mosque every day, and he looking like a fucking Muslim, right? So do these people now? I'm gonna ask y'all again, bro, because I keep asking motherfuckers, and motherfuckers look stuck. Do America fuck with Muslims? Because America is genociding Muslims right now. You say, oh, it's a proxy war. It's really not us. It's really not Americans. Stop. It's really us paying these niggas the money. Just look it up. We are always sending these people the money. We're always indulging in what they want to indulge in. It's that simple. We're paying for a war, and we're paying for people to get their ass beat because we are doing the ass beating over there. That's what's going on. We're doing the ass beating and attacking. Really, when you look at it from another perspective, right? How he was talking about perspectives, that's the key word for this video, perspectives. From somebody else's perspective, Putin perspective, he's standing on business because ain't nobody gonna come to Russia and tell him what the fuck to do. And they used to control Ukraine, so they want to control Ukraine again and have them pay taxes. Like that's how they looking at it from another perspective. It's not always y'all gotta stop looking at shit from just America and America. Nah, look at what they doing in other countries. Look around how they doing the whole world. Lil Durk couldn't even think to himself, I cannot pay with this shit with my own OTF credit cards, but he didn't got so lazy and sloppy, right? That he been doing this shit for how long now, and doing murder for hire for how long now, and Duck gone, this dude gone, that dude gone. I've been doing this for years now. Let me go book these flights and get the fuck up out of here. And let me book them different. Like, no, they already know where you at. They already been listening to your conversation. Like I always say, he didn't do no murder for hire. Like I always say, Little Dirk, right, had the government watching King Von. The government was already there at the scene before Quando and King Von before they started their little fight and King Von passed away. They already was there. That should explain everything that's going on, y'all. That should explain everything. Had niggas not been around this man and this man been tied to the government like this and in so much shit, that dude that got shot by the police and got unalived that night probably would still be alive. A whole lot of people probably be alive. Them boys were OTF and had access to the cards, and they gave their own bread. So whose cards? If the cards were OTF, whose cards was they, bro? IR, IRA. How is it for hire if they have their own bread and those dudes that slid were Von they ones? See, this is you are a phenotype. I'm gonna tell you something, IRA from Dirk. Don't need to tell Von's day ones to slide from. Listen, now IRA, I'm gonna tell you something, but I don't want you to feel like I'm talking down on you. You have a phenotype to whereas you think that this shit is real. You think when niggas go to jail and niggas die, niggas really be standing on business for them. You think niggas really be standing on business for them. You think niggas really be holding it down. Listen, if you were to go to jail, right? Your homie's gonna be fucking your girl if they not already. If you were to die, your homie's gonna not give a fuck if they ain't got shit to do with it and they can't do nothing about it. Or they feel like they can't do nothing about it or don't want to. Ain't nothing gonna happen. And if something was to happen, them niggas are gonna go to jail. It's all bad in this street life. What don't y'all understand? That's why everybody always say the streets is dead. Every time something like this happens, they say the streets is dead. That saying is old. The streets is dead saying that's old. They've been saying that since the 90s. You understand? So it's been informants. It's been informants. They made a whole movie called American Gangster about an informant. They do it to their own. I hope they hold it down, at least if not for Dirk, but for Von. Listen, you can hope something happens. That don't mean it's supposed to happen. You can hope all day and say, man, I hope I get $1 million. That don't mean it's supposed to happen to you. That don't mean just because you hope for your man's not to tell on you and being an informant is he gonna not take the money and he gonna do the right thing by what you agree your code is and your perspective on life is. Everybody don't got the same perspective of life as you. Think about it like this: it's billions of people in this world, and not one of them got a perspective like you. IRA, not one of them don't got a perspective like you, and there's billions of people in this world. Why are you so gung ho on another man holding your perspective of life up to you know what I'm saying? Like what? That man is not gonna abide by your perspective of life, and you're not enforcing that on him. You have to enforce that on people. That's where law and order comes in at. So you can't let your feelings get in the way and say, man, Von people supposed to slide for him. And that's what they Von people, what if I said Von people was all supposed to jump on Lil Tim and take the gun out of his hand and unalive Lil Tim after he unalive Von? You look at me like I'm crazy, right? But nah, I'll be like, nah, I really believe that. They was all supposed to jump because it was more of them than Lil Tim. If two of them got shot and they got shot, he only got how many bullets in his gun? What if I said they was all supposed to jump on Lil Tim and jump Lil Tim and then unalive Lil Tim while Quando ran scared? Then it would have been what? They would have some more of them would have died because the government was already there. So did they make the right decision by running that night after shots was fired, or was they scary, or did they not stand on business? This is what I'm saying, bro. Nothing changed from that night. Just like when the police was shooting back and everybody was shooting that night, it's the same way any other night, and it's gonna be like that always. When people start shooting, people take cover and get the fuck out of the way. Sliding and standing on business and all this shit that y'all niggas be talking about, young niggas be talking about, is called murder. That's called murder. When you're trying to catch somebody lacking and all this shit, that's called I'm trying to bushwhack a nigga and be in the bushes waiting on a nigga all goddamn day and night. That's what that's called. I'm trying to get away with this and do this and do that and so on and so forth. That's what that's called. That's not a motherfucker. This not a war. Y'all are supposed to be being civilians. I'm talking about the morality. You could talk about the case because it all comes to a moral compass. They are. Don't you understand, IRA, that it's people in a room debating about should Little Dirk live or not? So it's all gonna come back to morality. The religion is all gonna come back to all of that to these people because that's what these people believe in. Y'all gotta. It's not just a case, and this not just words and names and little. This not GTA. Make it make sense as that part. I wish I could reverse that day. You wish you could reverse it, but everything stuff like that happened fast for a reason. Just like if you was driving a car real fast, when you drive a car at 150 miles per hour, what do you expect will happen? What do you expect to happen? You driving in a car at a motherfucking 200 miles per hour. What do you expect? You think you're gonna be able to drive like that all day? When you doing that, you gonna crash. That's what I term getting big now. Cause it's like, damn, people really is crashing. You are crashing. You are crashing as soon as you step into that life and you claim that you're gonna stand on business for some people that's not gonna stand on business. Lil Durk say he gonna stand on business for OTF Jam. What did OTF Jam tell him? What did OTF Jam tell Lil Durk, y'all? You never had your brother killed on camera and his autopsy released by police? Okay. But the end of the day, what happened happened and lives were lost on both sides. Okay. That's what I'm saying, IRA. You live in a like you look at shit for face value and you look at shit like this shit is oh nobody's going through it. This is the only isolated incident. We have to do this and we have to do that. Everybody's not thinking like that. Like I said, on the night that King Von got unalived, Did these niggas all didn't jump? Because it was more of them than it was a Lil Tim and Quando. It was just Lil Tim and Quando and a fucking driver or some shit. It was like 10 of them out there. Why they didn't all jump on Lil Tim? Because when in the heat of the moment, and the government was there, in the heat of the moment, nobody's gonna react how they telling you they're gonna really react. Especially if if they got some shit that's holding. Everybody got a family and they got their own life and they got and the shit in the back of their head. Even if they act like they don't care about it, it's in the back of their head. They know what they supposed to be doing. They know they're not supposed to be at no hookah lounge with y'all niggas at 1 o'clock in the morning. They know they're not supposed to be around y'all niggas and all y'all niggas got felonies and do dumb felonious, murderous, talk types of crazy breaking the law shit. They know they're not supposed to be around you. But y'all go and y'all do it anyways, IRA, and then you want to medal for this shit? That's what the government is telling us. The government is telling us stand on all of that gangster shit that we say and claim in our music. What did Dirk say? He gave 50 when Jam got out. What did Dirk say? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Shit, probably the feds. They are listening to shit like this. Aren't they reciting Young Thug's whole songs while he goes into state court? This is the feds. So they've been listening to him for years and years. This is their job. They go to school for this shit. Understand? From a I'm looking at this shit from a third party, from the outside in. We were not none of us, even Dirk Mans, don't have the same perspective. OTF Jim was right next to Dirk, and they had two different perspectives on life and what they should be doing. But that was his brother, and he gave him 50,000. You fixated on Dirk because he's a star, and these folks trying to make it an example out of him. There's Dirk in your hood right now. Why don't you? Why don't you out them out? What are you talking about, IRA? Why don't I what? Do you think Lil Durk's story is appealing? Do you think what's going on? Do you think how Lil Durk life went, IRA? Let me ask you this. Do you think Lil Durk life do you think his life is something that you aspire to have? Is that something that you aspire to be? Do you think that how they was trying to paint his image in these last couple of years? Do you think that that was really Lil Durk? Yeah. Let's ponder on that. Nothing in this situation is good, but let's honestly think. Do you think that that was an acceptable lifestyle? It's not like Lil Durk was getting liberated from his situation and he was helping people and he was doing the right thing. Cause I'm not saying stuff don't happen and things need to be handled in a more because that's how war happens. But what was his cause? What was his purpose? What was his perception? Cause I just had somebody on my live the other day say, if Lil Durk got all his money, why would Little Durk do such a thing? Because money, when you got Lil Durk got bored. Lil Durk wanted some power with his money. He didn't just want the money. Cause they talk and laugh about niggas that just had the money and don't got the power like they got to be walking around unaliving people and everybody acting like ain't shit happening until they want to unalive you and put you in a fucking chair. Until they want to put you on death row, we gonna act like the government don't kill people and unalive people for unaliving people. We gonna act like that don't like the death penalty is not a real thing. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Little y'all swear, some of y'all swear Little Dirk was so smart because I seen some jewels on his neck and you seen him on a private jet. Like, that don't mean nothing, bro. But at the end of the day, both sides did bad things. What side? What's the other side? Because you know these is all black people, unaliving black people, right? IRA, these is all FBA members, pretty much unaliving FBA members. So what sides? You talking about this gang life? That's not a real thing to these white people that Lil Durk is now in the hands of. That's not a real thing to them. But what they believe in, that Jewish shit, they really believe in that shit. So when Lil Durk was in the mosque and talking about some, even if it was, and don't you know that these people was around him recording everything he was saying, so they could hear him talk about probably he probably said free Palestine a couple times on record, and these motherfuckers like, oh, free Palestine, huh? Oh yeah, fuck you. They're over there doing this to my people and all of this shit, and that like that's how they look at shit like that. Oh, he thinks he's a fucking terrorist. That's how they talk about him. But at the end of the, let me really read your comment, RRA. But at the end of the day, both sides did bad things, and I'm not gonna crucify him because they folks want to make them folks want to. That's what you meant. Them folks want to make an example. There's a Dirk everywhere. Now you're on something. Listen, there's a Dirk everywhere. There's a Dirk everywhere, but what does that mean? Does Dirk have a position to whereas he can overthrow the U.S. government? We all brag about shit that these white people do not care about. When I say white people, I am talking about Jewish people too. Y'all not exempt. These white people do not care about this. Do you think, like, come on, bro? And I'm not talking about you because I already you got sense, but you pander to this street culture shit. You do, and it's okay because I used to as well, but I know now the truth about that shit. I know the truth about that shit. The justice system is the Jews. That's the justice system. Go look at them. Go look at your Congress. Go look at these people in court. They're Jewish. They're Jewish white people. But it's like this, right? They probably heard Little Durk on record saying free Palestine and all this other shit and how he wanted. We know he was talking to OTF Jim about all of the murder for hire shit and all of the all of the little unalivings he wanted to tend to. But you got to understand what is your mind, what is the perspective in your mind, bro? Everybody has a perspective. I might pander to something one of my family members is doing or whatever the fuck, right? Because that's my family. You have family members, obviously, or people that are close to you, that are kin to you, that are in this type of lifestyle or have been in this type of lifestyle. So you, just like I was saying, if you was at the beginning of my video, is people in our community that understand how Little Dirk feels and wants the best for him and does not want. I don't want to see Little Dirk get unalive for this because that's crazy. I don't want to see nobody lose their life though in the black community of FBAs. I want everybody to prosper. I want to see us all prosper and do things the right way and do things civilly because we all want to act like we're civil. We're so civil. But behind closed doors and when it's dark out, everybody on demon time. And we can't do that though. And Lil Durk learned that you can't have a duality. You're either gonna be all the way with the most high or you gonna be with the Satan. They making an example out of him, bro, but what can you do about it? If they tell somebody, that's the same thing. That's like me saying they making them niggas work for cents in jail. What? That's like me saying they making you saying they put him on death row to make an example out of him. They making them niggas in jail work for free. Everybody gonna look at me like, nigga, what? But they have a heart for Lil Durk because they know Lil Durk as this rapper. In our community, that's a big thing. To these white people, that don't mean nothing. So just because we feel a certain type of way and we saying, oh yeah, they making an example out of him, that's something we already know. He getting an example made out of him. Now the question is, do you think that he should have an example made out of him? Do you think that that will help people? Do you think that will help our community? Or do you think that we will continue doing the same things that we doing right now and living the way that we living right now and doing the things like Dirk was doing and inspiring to be like that? Because either way it's gonna happen. We gotta be men about it and we gotta walk in the truth. We can't we can't sit up here and pander to motherfuckers getting knocked off and all that shit. And then when it's time for the person that's the mastermind about behind all that shit of all of these murders and all of this shit, we just act like they the golden child and they an angel. Cause we do that in our community. We do. I'm just saying Dirk lost his brother and reacted in the worst way. I can say that's wrong, but I wasn't in his shoes and I pray I never am. And that's all you could do. But we can't. Do you think the government care when Lil Durk get up there on stand or whatever the fuck, and they be like, Lil Durk, Did you do all this shit? And he be like, man, man, but my brother. They gonna be like, guilty. Next. These people don't care about all of that emotional. This is my brother. They look at it like, nigga, you should have. How much money they giving you? You should have built a motherfucking island over here or did whatever. Do what we rich people do. Rich people shit. You should have built a fucking condo over here and you should have stayed over there. You should have called the police. Why you guys don't call the police? That's how they look at shit. Why don't you N words just call the police? That's how they look at it. They don't look at it like how we look at it because we are supposed to be being civilians. That's how some people, in some people's mind, that's how they see everybody. They don't see anybody. Some people have lived their whole life. They never seen crimes. They never heard gunshots outside their house. They never heard sirens all goddamn day. Like some people honestly lived a quiet life for all of their life, all 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, how much ever time of their life. And they went to school and their parents was rich and wealthy. And they don't, some people, and those people be the fucking judges. Those people be all of this shit, the DA. Those people be these people in the courtrooms and shit like that. Those people be even the people investigating and doing all this shit. They done did years in the service and all of that shit. They think like you should be being a civilian. They look at Lil Durk like Lil Durk is a fucking rapper. Why the fuck can't he just be a fucking rapper? Why the fuck did he actually have to go out here and try to do this shit? Then when you look at it from Mama Duck's point of view, you look at it from this motherfucking point of view, this person's point of view, and everybody else's point of view on the other side, right? Yeah, these other sides, you got to understand these people are looking at it from a different perspective. So somebody out there might want to see Dirk have this fate. Can you say that they are wrong when their family got this fate from little Dirk being alive and being out here in these streets? You flip flopping between Dirk being a terrible person to the government being unfair. Well, a broken clock could be right twice a day. Like, what are we talking about? Tomato, tomato. What are we talking about? The government's bad. The government's did bad for sure, and Dirk did bad. Like Dirk had a chance to do good. You understand that, right? You're not wrong in both sense, but when I say one, you say the other as a default. Well, we having a dialogue. That's what's supposed to happen, bro. But what I'm saying is, in all actuality, Dirk had a chance to do good. So we can't sit up here and say Dirk didn't have a chance to do good because he did. He did. Dirk definitely had a chance to change his life, and I'm talking about Dirk. Ben had a chance. Dirk didn't just Dirk. This chance didn't just come to Dirk a couple years ago. Dirk Ben had a chance, and we all know the story. This is before FBG Duck. This is before all of that. Dirk Ben had a chance to just live life, my nigga. Dirk had a chance to get on. Dirk had a chance to have an island and be somewhere recording music. But that's not what he wanted. He wanted this shit. He wanted this to happen. You got to understand, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, his perspective on life, who Dirk father is. When you know who Dirk father is, you know why Dirk was doing the things that he was doing. But does that make it right? Right. And if we agree on some things, we agree on something. But I'm not one of them people where I agree with every goddamn thing somebody say, and I feel like somebody should agree with every goddamn thing I say, because we all gonna have agreements and disagreements. That don't mean that the sky is falling and this person is crazy and this person. What you said earlier, I never seen my brother dying. Huh? Listen, we gotta. I feel like as a community, we gotta start looking, walking shit down, looking shit straightforward. Like this is what it is, and we can't be sloppy about shit. You can't be mad at the government for doing what they. These people swarm by, not letting people kill other civilians. We might look at each other as gorillas and apes and beasts and this person and that person, a disciple, a gangster, and this and all of this crazy shit. And the government just looking at us like we is just some civilians running around ants. We can't. We got to stop doing that as a community, looking at ourselves like motherfucking superhumans and characters and all of this shit, because that's not real. That's not real in real life because when you this is not GTA. And I always tell my little brother this. And I still try to tell him this not GTA. Like when you get shot, when you go to jail, you really have to deal with that. Like that's time when you go to jail. You honestly be sitting behind a cage like a fucking animal. That's when you die. That's another world that we never been to on Earth. That's the shadow realm, all these other shit, the heavens, and all this shit that people be talking about. That's something that we never experienced in our lifetime. You will be going there, and the body and flesh that you be looking at through your eyes and all first person, and all, that will be gone. That's the truth, bro. We can only play the cards we dealt. Seeing your brother die on camera and them talking about him is something I can't even imagine going through. Exactly. So if you can't imagine what Lil Durk's going through, all you could do is understand his perspective and experience from afar. But that don't mean we can't say like, oh yeah, that's you know what I'm saying. That's what I would have did, or look at it from different viewpoints. It's just a different viewpoint. I'm just telling you about how these people that's controlling Lil Durk life right now is looking at him, and you can't say that's not how they're looking at him because this is what they've proven through time with their voting habits, how they ran the country. These people are in line with running the country. The people that have Lil Durk is Little Durk versus the United States of America right now. That means our government, our law enforcement, the DAs, and whatever the fuck, and all these people that are in our court system. He is going against the justice system right now. We can't like it's over. Like I said earlier, the FBG niggas looking at it like shit. He ain't beefing with us no more. He's in the hands of them people, and they can honestly choose if you want to live or not. So I know it's gonna probably be a petition if they end up, you know what I'm saying, doing just like how YNW Melly shit is. We can't do nothing about it. All we can do is watch them on fire and be like, damn, it's like a zoo. When we go to the zoo, that's what I'm saying. You get chained up and you're in the fucking zoo. That's why niggas calling each other apes and all this other shit and all types of crazy shit. It's crazy. Because when you go to the zoo, you really see a fucking animal in there, and they could come in there and start beating the animal and throw some slop at him and all types of shit. And the animal really in there react. That's how you is when you in jail. You don't got no say when they come and open that door and tell you to come over here and come over here and do this and do that. Just like them animals in the zoo, you will be doing that shit, or they will unalive you. All I see in every platform I go on is negative things about Dirt. It's so funny you say that. I'm just here to speak up for him in his absence. Listen, no disrespect, respectfully, that man gotta speak for himself. Lil Durk had multiple times to speak for himself. You a little you IRA, you some years late now trying to speak for good for Durk and speak how Durk should have been speaking years ago. You speaking better than Dirk should have been speaking. Dirk don't even speak like this for himself. So you going above and beyond just by even doing that and just not looking at it for how it is. Dirk is going to jail, what they said, for murder for hire, and he even said it himself. Why they keep on saying slide for Vaughn? He said it in the YouTube video himself. So how are we gonna be saying, oh, this is negative on a blogger's part and everybody else's part? Chat. How are we gonna say that? Oh, that's IRA. Everybody was Team Dirk before he got arrested, and everybody know he was, knew who he was. That's and listen, everybody know you on the top of the mountain. Everybody in the city know that you on the top of the mountain. What the fuck do that mean? Because somebody on a fucking cloud and they looking down at you on the top of the mountain like you stupid. So if I send this lightning bolt on top of your head on it, and I'm using, and I'm using metaphors and all that shit right now and analogies. But listen, if I'm on a cloud, right? I'm the Jews. I'm on the cloud, and I run the court system in America and the U.S. government and all this shit. If and the police and everything, right? Back to blue. What they be saying? Blue lives matter. I run all this shit. You was down there doing some shit that I don't like on top of the mountain. But to your people that's in the fucking mud, they looking up on the top of the mountain like, oh my God, Lil Durk on top of the mountain. He killing people. He got drugs. He having sex. He doing this. He doing whatever he want to do. Good God, he the greatest. Now, motherfucker on the top of the cloud. Now, God is all over all of this shit. But he on top of the cloud. He a Jew. And he got money. He like, wow, these people really worship this man. I'm about to kill him. Here, go ahead and arrest him. And wait, let him do what he want to do. Let's see what he rather do. Let him do what he want to do for a couple years, and then we gonna have his mans who telling on him. Yep, we gonna let him out, give him some trinkets. He think he doing something. All right, yep. Now we gonna take out Lil Durk and we gonna unalive him. Yeah, we feel like he tried to leave. What? He trying to leave here? What? We ain't done with this movie. This is all a movie to them. They gonna sell this. They're gonna be selling this shit in a couple of years. I already seen Say Cheese, somebody else. I know Charleston White was on there. It's supposed to be Say Cheese, Charleston White, Lil Tim, and Quando Rondo already got a documentary out. They already got a documentary out. Our kids gonna be talking about this like how our parents talked about Tupac and Biggie. Our kids gonna be talking about this shit. Y'all should have been speaking like this when he was alive, even before the Quando situation. Who you talking about, King Von? They only talk about you when you fall. That's called kicking a man while he's down. The same people calling him a monster would do backflips for a deal from Dirt. Now that he's gone, they want to benefit off his name. All right. Are you serious? That's like saying you work at Walmart. What the fuck? You gonna be sad if your boss at Walmart died, the owner of Walmart? That bitch still the show must go on. That shit gonna be open the next day. Because the owner wouldn't want nothing different. So just because the owner is in a fucking racketeering charge and he got a fucking Rico, you don't think his business not gonna be running from jail? Don't nobody give a fuck that Lil Durk doing all this shit that he was doing. We gotta live our life at the end of the day. So if Lil Durk came out here and gave $100 billion and nobody cared about that story, they're not gonna report the story. Lil Durk could have gave out $100 billion to some poor people, and goddamn it, everybody would have somebody 2 people would have blogged about it. Lil Durk on death row, everybody blogging about it. What are you gonna do about it? This is what everybody want to talk about. We honestly having a whole conversation about this shit getting deep, shit getting crazy. This is what everybody want to talk about. This is what people talking about. Nobody likes. The truth is, nobody likes positivity and all of that shit in real life. Like I said, this will be a movie. The white man will be making his coins off of this, just like he was doing anyways with Lil Durk's career. There was just somebody was talking about this, like XX Tentacion, still one of the top 10 streamed artists, and he not even alive. Like XX Tentacion been passed away for how long now? And he's still the top streamed artist, top 10 streamed artist. Like they're in the business of making money. This is about a movie. This is about a story. Lil Durk was supposed to stay in America so they could continue to do their surveillance and do their story. Lil Durk didn't want to be watched anymore, being listened to anymore. People being compromised into informants around him anymore, and it was getting him sick because he didn't know he could be talking to his goddamn mama or any goddamn body, and they could be a confidential informant. Do you know what that life is like, IRA? Where you could be talking to a goddamn uh, driver and they're a confidential informant on your case that they're building on you. Have you ever been in that situation? I never been in that situation, and I don't know. They all listen to all of us though. I truthfully think that though they listen to all of us. But a case being built around me like this, oh hell no. Lil Durk, he went crazy because of the shit that happened to him. But nobody cares about that when you're a civilian, and especially if you're not a white supremacist, because that come with war. When you go crazy as a man, war come behind that. You say who run the blogs and the music? Niggas, listen, whoever is running people like DJ Academics, whoever is running all of these little news sites, whoever is the boss of those people is the boss of this music shit because they control the narrative. They control the narrative. It's not how it used to be where the label could protect the artist and all of that shit, protect their image, and you only see them at the awards. You see them at the awards and the music video. They always looked like back in the day, artists always looked like they were above people. They always look like superheroes and all that shit to people. That's why the black community is so attached because they're in that 90s, early 2000s into the 2010s. You only seen artists at their best moment of their lives, like in a music video, on a stage, at the awards. Nowadays, artists are you starting to see an artist in a goddamn video, a random video outside the club, scuffling, and being unalive. Like you starting to see artists in different lights now. That's why everybody was so fantasized about how Tupac was in Vegas when he got unalive because cameras. That was the first of cameras coming around like that. Tomorrow it is gonna be another black man going to prison. But what does that got to do with us, IRA? That mean we got to stay out of prison and hold it down and stay in our business. We was just talking about that. We got to stay in our business. Just because somebody get locked up, that don't mean the world end. Just because somebody get unalived or somebody pass away, that do not mean the world ending. The world is ending, I believe, when Yeshua crack the sky and he come out and raise hell. That's what I believe. Everybody don't believe that. And you know what's crazy? People going to war about those beliefs. People go to war about what I believe is gonna happen. What the how I think the world gonna end is. That's people go to war about that. Nigga, I said no. This is what my people believe. I'm a Christian. I'm a Jew. I'm a Muslim. This is what we people go to war about that. And that's not big in the West. I think it's starting to get bigger, but it's definitely not like how it is on the other side of the world. Them people do not play about that shit. Like over there, they really stand on that's their gangs. Like how people is in America about gangs and all that stupid shit. They're like that with religion in other countries, and they don't even be abiding by that shit because they wouldn't even be doing all of that. But they are doing it. That's their scapegoat, their religion. You know what I'm saying? So we can't overlook uh the religion because Lil Durk didn't want us to overlook his religion and his belief system because he kept pushing it onto us and kept showing us pictures of him at the mosque and all that shit. If we would have never even Lil Durk could have been doing all of that shit. He could have been going to the mosque and praying every whatever he was doing. I don't know what he was doing every day. I wasn't around him, but this is what he showed us. He didn't have to show us that, but he showed us for a reason. He showed everybody for a reason. That was something that was special to him, and to somebody else they could care less about it. A Jew could care less about that and will want to spit on a mosque that he went to and not give a fuck. It's people that go over to Israel and they spit on the shit that they care about. Like this is what these people do. These people go to war about shit like this. So I'll tell y'all this if y'all didn't know. It's a bishop named Bishop Nathaniel, right? He got a church. He got churches. They don't like to call them churches. They call them synagogues or whatever, right? So boom, he got a camp of people. They read the Bible and all that shit, right? He went over to Israel and he spit on some shit that they care about in Israel. The white people care about over there. They want his head about that shit. He's like on a ops list about that shit. This is something that is so just because little Dirk became Muslim and y'all feel like, oh, that's such an upstanding thing. Like some people looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Is he crazy? Or like that's how some people looking at it. And I understand Lil Durk viewpoint too, where he's like he wanna embrace this because his father was embracing it and he I think a lot of people feel like how they made Christianity in America, they feminized Christ in their term and how they explain him. They feminized Christ and turned Christ into this hippie, and people don't even know who the real Yeshua Hamashiach is. I'm proud of Dirk becoming Muslim and showing us it might inspire young kids to stay out the streets and become religious. That's a great thing, even if you think he's faking it. And that's the point. It's not about little Dirk doing the right thing. He's supposed to do the right thing. We all supposed to do the right thing. We all supposed to be good examples to our community and upstanding men and all this shit. This is what we supposed to do. In the black community, we shouldn't get like we shouldn't feel like we supposed to get something for that or people are supposed to like nah, this what Lil Durk was supposed to be doing. I bet you he would do more of that if he had the chance to be take some stuff back and reverse shit and um change shit. He can't change that now because he was doing both things. You can't do both. I'm not losing sight in the bigger picture. This is what I'm saying for because you said it's Dirks all around. So if another Dirk was listening to this, he'll be like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna change my ways. I'm not gonna be like this. When I get my chance, when I get my opportunity, I would do differently." That's the whole point. Like you were saying, like Dirk was trying to do. At that point, it was too late. It's like you're down 40 points at the end of a football game. What the fuck are you trying to do? You're trying to do a Hail Mary. It's kind of like everybody on the highway then left the game already. You still trying to do a Hail Mary. It's not gonna work like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stop that shit when it's time. You gotta make a change in the game when it's time. If you don't change the momentum of the game when it's time, it's gonna slip out of your hands. And at this point, right? At this point, it has slipped out of Lil Durk's hands. But we do appreciate his effort. That's what you talking about, IRA. You talking about Lil Durk effort to change his ways and be a pillar in the community. That was a good effort, I must admit. Now I'm talking in my perspective. Do somebody else feel the same way? Obviously not, because they deciding if they want to keep him alive or not. Like, that's crazy. But this is what happens with our system. Trials and tribulations is a form of mercy and forgiveness from God. I hope he's forgiven. Prison is not the last destination. I mean, I hope Little Dirk is forgiven by the Most High. I hope that he's forgiven by the Most High, because I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hope for a humanoid. I can't hope for a humanoid to do anything. That's what I'm starting to realize in life. So we could hope, and like, I sports bet. Sometimes I be finding myself hoping that players do this and players do that, but at the end of the day, man, you really can't. You really can't hope that nobody do nothing. You can only hope for the Most High to do something, because Most High controls all of this. So we gotta hope for the Most High to forgive him. But I see where you going, brother. I just have I have a certain way of looking at stuff. It is a straightforward type of way, and if it was a chance for Lil Durk, I'd say it was a chance. I feel like the only thing that honestly, I don't think it's a chance for Lil Durk, because what really messed him up was his iCloud and his credit cards being linked with his LLC and all of that shit, and it's just like, it's nothing that we could do. We got interviews and all types of shit. Like, it's like multiple interviews on this shit with motherfuckers that's really involved in the situation telling on Lil Durk in YouTube interviews. Like, the feds, these people be sending people. You think this is a YouTube interview with somebody that got millions of followers and subscribers and all this shit. You're not thinking much of it. You just, oh, this is an interview. I'm about to set shit straight. That's how Lil Durk was looking at it, because he was on a power trip. He was on the top of the mountain while the feds and the government and everybody else is on the cloud looking down at him. You could tell I'm Muslim. I'm not Muslim. I just follow the Most High. I follow the Most High, and I feel like, if you following the Most High, you understand what's right and what's wrong. By the will of God, exactly. And we can speak good all we want, but at the end of the day, we gotta look at it. Even Christ knew. And I know that y'all feel like Christians and people that believe in the Bible and Holy Bible always refer to Christ, but we always refer to Christ because Christ's story is what most Black people go through on their time on Earth. That's usually, especially, you know what I'm saying, like Black men. That is our story. We do all we can to follow the Most High and abide by His rules, and we try our best, but we still fall up short, and people still end up hating us and wanting to unalive us, and we end up, you know, getting slung from a tree. That's what happens. That's what happens, and we so desensitized nowadays. We don't even, when somebody could be getting hung and we won't even care no more. Like, somebody could be getting unalive, all types of shit going on, and we won't care no more. It's like we desensitized, and they was desensitized in Christ days. So it's on a hyper level now. It's on a hyper level now. We don't care about nothing. Somebody could get unalive right in front of us. We won't bat an eye, because and I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Y'all want to know something, man? No, I'm not gonna tell that story on here, bro. I'm just saying, bro. We be so caught up in our life, bro. Something. Listen, a body could be right in front of our face, y'all. And I know that we will continue on with our life. It's not like, and it's gonna be somebody there though that's going through, and it's crying, and they going through emotions, but everybody else gonna go on with their life. The majority of people is gonna go on with their life. It's not nothing that we could do. It's only so much that we could do. You feel me? And I feel for Lil Durk because I honestly started to like some of the newer music and the latest music that Lil Durk was putting out. But it's at a point where it's like, bro, what am I gonna do? But am I gonna condone what he did and say, man, those people had it coming? Like, it's not nothing. I think we should be closer in the FBA community. We should be helping each other more and do more things for each other as far as getting our hate crime bill signed, because that's very important. That's gonna keep us from being harassed and all this shit. Y'all talking about some immunity. That don't got nothing to do with nothing. That's gonna be there anyway. We need to be getting a hate crime bill signed. That just goes to show our community be focused on the wrong thing. We be in our feelings trying to push out a vote for Harris. That's not gonna help our community. We know that's not gonna help our community. Actual income tax cuts that Trump is talking about and all this shit, that's gonna help our community because we make up a good portion of the working class. We make up a great portion of the working class. IRA, use your platform to talk about the good things he did while Dirk was free and spread the message to find God and forgive, not to make someone a monster because of the test God gave him. I can't make Lil Durk out to be nothing. Listen, if they said Lil Durk did something, then they said that Lil Durk did it. I can only talk about what they said. I don't know what Lil Durk was doing or how Lil Durk felt. Lil Durk might got a good reason to why he did everything he did. Do that make it right into the white supremacist eyes? So just because I'm talking about how the white supremacists want to do Lil Durk, that don't mean I'm painting a negative picture on Lil Durk. Some people might think Lil Durk is the kindest person in the world, a teddy bear or a motherfucking anything. Somebody might that's somebody's father. We know that. That's somebody's everything. We know that. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the government, how the government looks at him. They look at it like they are the royal family. The Kamala Harris people, her and Doug and Joe Biden and Hunter doing crack in the motherfucking White House and coke in the White House, and that is the royal family. That's why Hunter Biden could be a felon, and they said he did some weird shit. I think he really wasn't supposed to have a firearm, and he had a firearm and was buying a firearm, but he never went to jail for it, and he was doing crack in the White House and doing some spy shit, and he had some information, sending people information he wasn't supposed to be doing on his computer, and they found the shit, and he's still walking around free and he good because that is the royal family. So they get the perks of doing that's called white supremacy. They get the perks of unaliving people because they unalive people in the thousands and the millions. When I'm talking about when we thinking, oh, we looking up from the mud at Lil Durk, oh God, that's Lil Durk. God bless him. He on the top of the mountain. Somebody's on a cloud looking at Lil Durk like, and you might say, "Oh, the cloud, like that's a good thing. You're all the way up there." No, the cloud come with unaliving thousands of people and families, mothers and fathers and children, and bombs and dropping on people's head. And the cloud come with a whole bunch of cheating, disgustingness, wickedness, STDs. The cloud come with everything bad too. And it's a lot of good, but it's a lot of bad that you got to take with it. That's what the cloud come with. The knowing of what you're actually doing, because people be disgusted with themselves. Why I think Lil Durk wanted these people to stop listening to him and watching him, because he was disgusted with himself too. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. When people go through this stuff and they get people killed and they do all types of, you know what I'm saying, murder and stuff like that, people be disgusted with themselves. They might not admit it to you, but that's how they really feel. I know this for sure because I was told this. People be disgusted with themselves and they want to get away. Lil Durk been wanting to get away for a very long time now. I could tell. I know speaking down on him is what's selling right now, but don't lose your values for what's trending. Speak your mind, even when it's unpopular. I'm gonna always speak my mind, bro. And that's the thing, though. Just because I get on here and I say Lil Durk had a chance to change his life, and like I'm talking about really change his life, not money wise or fame wise or none of that shit. Lil Durk had a chance to change his life. And look, and it took me a whole damn hour to get here. But I was meaning to bring up bro too, because he is what Lil Durk should have been. Chief Keef is what Little Durk could have been and should. I'm not saying he should have been his whole life being in humanoid form. I'm just saying Lil Durk should have took some notes from Chief Keef. Chief Keef did it the right way. Lil Durk thought he had to have these niggas around him to live life. These niggas not about to serve Lil Durk time. These niggas not gonna take the lethal injection for you. To all of the other Durks that IRA is talking about was walking around, they're not gonna take the lethal injection for you. So you thinking that you doing right by them by giving them 50,000 when they get out of jail and all this other shit? Then people could care less about you. If you would read the Bible, you would learn a story about Judas and how Judas sold Jesus out. Judas sold Jesus out for a bag of chips in today's time. What Judas sold the Yeshua Hamashiach that could do miracles, he sold him out for what we would claim a bag of chips for. You can't even get a bag of chips out for what Judas sold Jesus out for back in the day. What Judas sold Jesus out for, we can't even get a bag of chips for. You think these niggas not gonna do you way worse for? I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. The government gonna hook them up, and you hooking them up. So really, who all hooking? These white people hooking these people up so they could get their agendas done. When they wanted Lil Durk, they released that nigga and they released that nigga and they told him to do what they told him to do, and that motherfucker came out and got his bag, which was telling on Durk. That's how he was supposed to get his bag. He did his mission. It be whole missions around you going on. You gotta understand when you get to a certain point. People have a mission of taking you down and undermining you. That's the whole point of where I'm getting where the Jews and all these people that's controlling the court system and all that shit that have Lil Durk's life in their hands right now. Um, they're on a cloud and Lil Durk's on the top of a mountain. And it's people from the mud where Lil Durk is from thinking that Lil Durk then done everything in life and he's the end all be all. And there's some people looking at him like he's just a piece of Play-Doh. We can't do that because we're not on that level on the cloud. We're just supposed to be being civilians. So do you really want to be at the top of the mountain? The top of the mountain is the pits of hell for Dirk right now. That's what come with the top of the mountain. Is this where you really want to be at? So I'm not about to just say good things for Dirk and act like I could want the best for Dirk and want the most high to accept Dirk and everything. But that don't mean that this is not what people saying he did. We just talking about it. It's not like we deeply emotionally invested into the shit and motherfucking feel like they should do this shit and they should do it this way. Like I personally think they should anybody that did some fucked up shit should just be locked up, right? Until they, you know what I'm saying, rehabilitate and all that shit. But some people feel like, no, you gotta till life for your life. No, you gotta be sitting down in this chair and get unalive while we watch. Like this is what some people feel like should happen. So who am I to say, oh yeah, do this and do that? I can only pray to my most high because I know who the real president is, the real leader of the government. That is the most high and his son Yeshua Hamashiach. If the feds find a body we don't know about on Chief Keef and gets arrested tomorrow, are you going to crucify him next? Even though you just said so, if the feds found a body on Chief Keef tomorrow, and Chief Keef was to start going through the situation Lil Durk went through, I'm gonna say Chief Keef hit that shit really well. I didn't know he had anything to do with this shit. Da 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 da. Isn't this crazy? We never. Who would have thought Chief Keef was doing? We thought Chief Keef changed his life, but Chief Keef was still in the streets and he was still fucking up. And now they talking about they want to unalive him, and the government has Chief Keef's life in his hands. I'm not gonna show Chief Keef any favoritism. What the fuck am I showing favoritism for? I don't even know him. We just talking. This is just shit that we talking about online. This is just a forum. This isn't a motherfucking end all be all. I don't have the end all be all keys to Dirk life right now. The Most High and whoever is saying he'll be having a death penalty or not does. Like I don't have these people have that on their mind, which is where what are we really? There's somebody in the world right now, like, what are we gonna do with Dirk? And they have Dirk life, the keys to his life in his hand. He either gonna get this shot, or he gonna be able to be in jail for the rest of his life, or whatever the fuck, right? Or he gonna be free, or whatever. Like it's really some people in life that have that control over this man today. Do we understand that? Do I see how what sounds saying saying that Chief Keef was. We thought Chief Keef was a role model yesterday, and then we found out he wasn't today. It happens all the time. We thought Lil Durk was a role model yesterday, and we found out Lil Durk is. Look, listen, it's important to understand. Little Durk was just getting the keys to the city. Lil Durk had all those pictures in the mosque with his dad and all this other shit. Lil Durk was motherfucking at the what else? He was at the Bears game. Lil Durk, like what are we talking about? Just because Lil Durk was seen taking cool pictures and he had the all my life, like all that shit with the kids, all the kids they singing a song and all that shit. What the fuck does that mean to these people that's really watching what he do when it get dark outside? And how he be talking about people and how you want to unalive people on this wire. Like, what does that mean to them? The government, the court system, the people that has Little Dirk's life in their hands right now. What does that mean to them? Obviously, it doesn't mean shit to them. And I'm saying is I think that Muslim shit and all that other shit he was doing. I'm not saying it's shit. And if you're Muslim, you're shit and it's bad. Or if you follow Islam, you're bad and you're shit. I'm just saying some people might not like that. Why? Because they are fighting about that on the other side of the world. I sound like the people that want to lock me up next because I understand how they think from being locked up and hearing them talk and listen. I honestly, when I listen to white people, I don't get offended no more. I don't get in my feelings and be mad and be like, "Yo, why would you say that?" And all. I just listen to them. I be quiet. I'm not like this off camera. When I'm not on camera, when I'm not doing my podcast, I'm very quiet. I listen to what people say. That's why when people get in my comments and my lives and my stuff, I read y'all comments because y'all people. I don't look at people like motherfucking numbers and statistics and all that shit, but I know somebody that do. I know somebody that don't give a fuck about black people and they look at black people like, oh, I'm the next one they gonna lock up. I know that's true. Do I get offended and be mad? It's nothing I could do about it. I used to, but there's nothing in real life. There's nothing I could do about it. There's really nothing I should give a fuck about wanting to do about it except live my life and be prosperous and help my family and help my people in the most civil way possible, right? Hink, hink, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right? The most civil way possible because that's what I'm supposed to be being. Under the U.S. government, right? To them, I am a civilian. To them, Lil Durk was a civilian. He was supposed to be doing civilian shit. That's why he tried to do all of this civilian shit, all this good shit. And these motherfuckers is like, man, we don't care about that. We want to unalive you. What is happening here, brother? The lovely miracle. We just talking about Lil Durk situation, and I'm basically looking at it from other people's perspectives, from what their actions are showing, like the U.S. government and these white people that have Lil Durk life in his hands, in their hands now, and they're telling him what he's gonna be doing every day, and if they're gonna be unalive him or not. I'm just looking at it. Um, I'm just looking at it in its raw truth. I'm not looking at it from a biased standpoint. And I feel like IRA is trying to look at it, whereas he has a heart for Dirk. He feel like Dirk should be alive, and he feel like they should free him, and or they should do whatever. He don't want Lil Durk to be unalived, and he feel like they're painting a negative image on him. But Little Dirk said, do you know that Little Dirk got on camera and said himself, why are they saying that they didn't slide for Vaughn? See, the feds know what that mean. All of these code words that we think we have, all of these code words that we think we have, and we're being sneaky. The feds know that because they have informants. They have our own people that we say is our brother and give 50,000 to telling them what shit means. So soon as Lil Durk said in that DJ Academics video, that he why they keep on saying to slide for Vaughn being funny, OTF Jam went and told the police. That means that he killed Vaughn, and he's letting y'all know why do y'all keep asking him about why Vaughn hasn't been avenged yet when he has been avenged. I'm not from the U.S. What's happening? I forgot this early as a bitch in the morning. What's happening in the U.S. is Lil Durk is being tried by the United States, the U.S. government, um, for his life. So he's on death row, and they're deciding if they want to unalive Little Dirk or keep him alive in jail or maybe he could be free because in the United States, when you're tried, you are innocent until proven guilty. So right now he is still considered innocent until he's proven guilty. But the people, the agency that came and picked Little Dirk up, the federal agents, the federales, anytime they pick people up, they have a 90 percentile rate of convicting them of that crime. So they have that mean all it means is these people have a numerous amounts of evidence, and they even let Little Dirk walk into some of these traps and incriminate himself so that they could arrest him or unalive him. I hope that was a good explanation. Yeah, he in jail. I already said if you get locked up tomorrow, I'm gonna highlight your positive when everyone else is talking negative about you. And I appreciate that. But I already it's probably not nobody's gonna watch this shit because don't nobody care. My mom might watch it. My son might watch it, but is everybody gonna be able to know? Because everybody want to talk about the real shit, the meat and the potatoes. The meat and the potatoes is Lil Durk is in jail right now in prison, and the feds, whatever you want to say, But some people like to be meticulous about shit like that. He's in the feds, right? And he's locked up right now, and they're deciding if they want to kill him or not. What are we gonna do about it? That's the meat and the potatoes. You know what I'm saying? So what are we gonna do about it? We gonna make sure that any nigga that has the potential to want to unalive their people like dirt, any nigga that in our community of the FBA community, because I'm just gonna assume that you are FBA RA. Your values is gonna get you fired, and I do speak my values all the time on my channel. Anybody that's a part of the real VI crew would know that IRA. I suggest that you become a part of the VI crew, man. Subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. I really do appreciate y'all. But that's my time on here, y'all. I think I'm gonna have to get off of here in a minute. If y'all got any other questions, man, we're gonna do a little closing statement right now. I appreciate y'all. It is crazy to love a miracle, and it's everybody is torn between what Lil Durk might actually be and what they perceive him to be. That's the key word of this video, perception. So a lot of people want Lil Durk to be the guy that they hear in the music, making good melodies all the time. But Lil Durk might have another side to him, whereas he want certain people to be in a casket forever, and their families to never see them again. And what does that mean? I think Lil Durk is a terrible person and all this shit. Is nothing against, not personal, it's business. Nothing personal, just business. And that's what Lil Durk wanted out of these people. That's why he didn't want these people to use his cards. He told them specifically, don't use my cards. Don't use this and that and the third. OTF, keep me out of it. Because Lil Durk didn't even want to be a part of the stuff that Lil Durk was doing. We got to understand that. There's not nothing to play around with. I agree with you too, IRA. We could agree to disagree on things. We don't got, like I said earlier, we don't got to agree on everything. I appreciate you coming here, dialoguing. Salute. Exactly. You should want to speak good things into existence. But just because you speak good, always remember just because you speak good things and say good things don't mean that you're supposed to get it, and that don't mean that it's gonna happen. You gotta do the action. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do the action at the right moment in time. I could say I'm a Super Bowl champion. I'm a Super Bowl champion, but if I'm not making uh no actions to become a Super Bowl champion, then I'm not a Super Bowl champion. You feel me? I appreciate y'all, man. They saying I got 16 viewers and 5 likes. I appreciate every single one of y'all that came and viewed in. And even if you viewed on the replay, salute to the VI crew, man. I appreciate y'all for real. We had a good talk on here. I'm in the West. I'm in the US. You probably on the East, Miracle. It is night over here. But salute to y'all, man. This is the Lil Durk web series. Please like, comment, subscribe as we watch the Lil Durk case and see what's going on. This is the Viral Industries Viewpoint. Peace and blessings.